Stop what you're doing. This is a genuine political earthquake. You saw the headline and you clicked because you know this story is real. It's not some manufactured political stunt. This is the story of a genius legislative trap set by a surprising bipartisan coalition, a move that has just forced President Donald Trump's hand on one of the most explosive, politically dangerous documents in Washington, the complete Jeffrey Epstein Files. For months, the White House fought this transparency, dismissing the effort as a hoax and instructing congressional leadership to block any vote. They tried everything to keep the legislation locked away. But then, in a stunning and abrupt reversal that tells you everything about who holds the power when the people demand answers, Trump folded. The pressure became insurmountable. The final vote tally was an astonishing 427-1 in the House, followed by an equally stunning, unanimous passage in the Senate. The bill is now on his desk, and he must sign it into law. Here's the promise. We are going to break down the 3 specific, complex procedural moves that allowed a handful of determined legislators to set this perfect trap, forcing the release of documents the political elite tried so hard to keep secret. Stick with us, because this story is far deeper than a simple headline, and the release will fundamentally reshape the political landscape. To truly grasp the strategic brilliance of this legislative victory, one must understand the complex mechanisms of the U.S. House of Representatives, or more accurately, how its mechanisms are often used to block action. For months, the Epstein Files Transparency Act was intentionally stalled, consigned to what is frequently termed Speaker Mike Johnson's legislative graveyard. With opposition coming directly from the White House, Republican leadership refused to allow the bill to see the light of day or receive a full floor vote. This, under normal circumstances, would be the end of the story. Wrong. The countermove, the genius trap, centered on the Discharge Petition. This obscure but powerful procedural tool operates as a secret weapon for frustrated members of Congress. By securing 218 signatures, a simple majority of the House, members can completely bypass the Speaker, the Rules Committee, and the entire leadership apparatus to force any bill they choose onto the floor for an immediate vote. A bipartisan group, led by Republican Thomas Massie and Democrat Khanna, began quietly collecting signatures. The trap was sprung when they reached 217, patiently awaiting the crucial 218th signature from newly sworn-in Democrat Adelita Grijalva. The moment she signed, the countdown began and the political pressure became nuclear. House leadership was utterly cornered. They were forced to schedule the bill, knowing the narrative would otherwise become devastating. The GOP is actively blocking the release of the Epstein Files. That was the moment of complete checkmate. The focal point of the political drama then shifted to President Donald Trump, the unexpected victim of this congressional trap. For months, his administration's stance had been rigidly consistent, yet internally fracturing. He publicly dismissed the entire initiative as a Democrat hoax, arguing that pursuing the Epstein Files would detract from the great success of the Republican Party. This position created a massive fissure within his own base, alienating the very MAGA voters who fervently demand transparency and accountability from the corrupt elite associated with the Epstein scandal. Trump was maneuvering in an unwinnable political checkmate. He faced a stark choice. Option A, continue to block the overwhelmingly popular bill and risk being universally painted as engaging in a cover-up. Or option B, execute a rapid, humiliating reversal. The latter is precisely what occurred. As the bill reached the point of no return, Trump abruptly surrendered to political reality, issuing a statement essentially urging Republicans to vote in favor, claiming, quote, "We have nothing to hide." This was not a show of executive strength, but a clear, dramatic demonstration of a president being completely outflanked by a bipartisan, procedural move he could no longer control.
The final, crushing 427-1 vote solidified the defeat, a level of bipartisan agreement on any contentious issue being virtually unheard of, underscoring the political necessity that ultimately forced his hand. This is the critical stage where the political spectacle meets the concrete reality of law. The Epstein Files Transparency Act, now awaiting President Trump's signature, is disarmingly simple, yet its provisions are the very substance of the fear that drove months of White House opposition. The bill mandates that the Justice Department publicly release all files, communications, and investigatory materials related to Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell within just 30 days of enactment. The true teeth of this law lie in its severe restrictions on redaction. The DOJ is rightfully permitted to withhold data to protect victim identities or genuinely jeopardize an active federal investigation. But crucially, it is expressly prohibited from withholding information due to mere embarrassment, reputational harm, or political sensitivity, including to any government official, public figure, or foreign dignitary. This is the Names and Shames Clause, a direct shot at the political and financial elite. We must acknowledge the single, solitary no vote. Rep. Clay Higgins, a staunch Trump ally, who maintained his principled opposition, arguing the bill would, quote, reveal and injure thousands of innocent people named in investigatory files but not criminally implicated. His isolated stand, amidst the overwhelming 427-1 bipartisan pressure, highlights the extraordinary political cost of this single vote. The pressure is now entirely on the president. The 30-day clock starts the moment he signs the bill, confirming that the political masterclass is over and the era of forced accountability has begun. Did this surprise you? Hit the like button and tell me your thoughts on Trump's reversal in the comments below.